Deal Surgeons, Elite Masterminds, what's going on? This is Diamond Life. And so hopefully you guys having a great day. I hope you really enjoyed the last podcast where I was talking about, F your plan B. I understand that it didn't apply to everybody because everybody's not trying to master this skill. A lot of people just want to get in and get out, or just learn the least amount as possible so they can earn an extra 10,000 for the year, 50,000, something like that. But then you got people like myself who in this game for millions of dollars. Okay, so I think it's still added value to the people who want to be lazy with this. So cool. So right now, this podcast here, I want to title it, "Why You Need to Keep It to Yourself." Okay, and what I mean by that, what I mean is, this is just my philosophy, okay? And I'll just explain why I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. I understand you got family members, you got cousins, you got brothers, sisters who you love, who, you think are in your corner, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is that, if you already told, most of you people listening right now, you probably already told people that you're trading or you're about to look into this. The reason you don't need to tell people, in my opinion, why I didn't tell anybody is because I didn't want any negative references in my psychology, because remember, this is a psychology game, okay? And I knew I would tell people one day, but I really didn't tell people until I knew nobody could fuck with me. You understand me? So like around this time last year, I had my Neo in the Matrix moment, which I need to do a podcast about. Basically, it's this moment where all the videos, all the audios, all the trading that you did in the past, it's like it all comes together, and it's like you just see everything clearly. Even ICT talk about it, and I always wondered, like, when would it happen for me? And it happened for me last year around this time, and I remember thinking, like, I'm untouchable, like I'm unstoppable, like ain't nobody fuck with me. And then at that point, I started telling people, because I'm like, well, shit. Even if people start hating on me, even if people start talking crazy, like, oh, this gambling, it's not going to work, or, oh, I know somebody that did that and they lost everything. See, what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody that you trade. Don't tell anybody that. I'm telling you, like, if you keep it to yourself, you're gonna build up more power. And you can tell people, but you need to tell people when you really know that you at a point where can't nobody fuck with you. Like, if you thought I was thinking that way last year, just imagine how I feel now. I'm on a whole nother planet. I'm really untouchable now. Okay. But last year, around this time, and the only way that you know that you can't nobody fuck with you and you're untouchable is that you have to really be consistently winning money, or you have to really have that Neo in the Matrix moment where you really understand, like, how these markets work and how. I think that really comes from studying ICT. You can be lazy and like master Fibonacci and do trend lines and all that, but ICT is PhD level trading. Okay, it's nothing else out there better. It's just point blank, period. But it is a lot of easier methods out there that you can learn from that's not as detailed and rigorous as ICT. I just wanted to learn everything. Like I said, I couldn't go to sleep at night knowing that a damn indicator was bringing me the money to my family in the future, or, me taking care of my mother or father, like an indicator, or, Renko bars or some shit like that was taking care of me. Like, I just had to know how this stuff worked. So now if I use an indicator or something, I can, because I know how that structure works without a fucking indicator. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. I kind of get passionate when we come to indicators and gimmicks and all that. So like I said, why you should keep it to yourself is because it's not like your cousin, your mother, your father, like they don't want you to succeed. But what I'm trying to tell you is that your environment is really going to be important with you trying to learn this shit early on. And so I'm not saying that they're trying to hate on you or they don't want to see you succeed, but you don't need any outside influences, especially in the beginning. Okay? You don't need any outside influences of people asking you, like, so, hey, how's everything going? Because what's going to happen is you're going to start forcing shit. Okay? You're going to start forcing trades. You're going to start forcing yourself to win, right? Because mama know about you trading now, right? You're going to try to force the wins now because your brother that you fucking told Now he's asking you like, hey, how's everything going? Right? So now what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to keep it to yourself, because you're going to start forcing the success that's not going to come until months and months later. Does that make sense? Think about it. If you tell people what you're doing, if you tell your mama, you tell your daddy, you tell your cousin, your best friend, what I'm saying is they're not hating on you, but they're going to start asking you like, so, hey, what's going on? You know, how's it going? How's trading going? Or, hey, you're going to be leaving your job soon. So it's like, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you keep it to yourself, you're going to allow the seed to germinate and grow on its own, versus you putting Miracle-Gro in the soil and, you know, keeping the sun on that seed all day long, trying to force it. Okay, it can grow, but the growth is going to be, it's not going to be as healthy. It's not going to be as strong. You're going to be building a house of cards, is what I'm trying to tell you. So if you have told your mother, your father, and all that, and you plan to tell other people, don't tell them shit. Don't tell people nothing, man. Just keep it to yourself. I'm trying to tell you, you build up personal power like this. Only share it with people who actually is trading, or people that's in your Discord group or whatever. Don't tell anybody you're doing this shit. It's not about them hating on you. Obviously, you got people, to be honest with you, with me, I didn't tell anybody because I knew people was hating on me. And I knew that they would look at this as like, oh, this is just something else that Anthony's doing, you know. Anthony's doing that trading stuff. Like, I didn't want them to know. I felt, and I still was talking to these people on the phone and meeting people. It just was a personal power that you have when you don't let people have you figured out. Does that make sense? You up there telling everybody what you doing, and they got your ass figured out. Don't tell them nothing. It's not even about people hating on you, because you got people like your mother, your father, your cousin. These people actually do love you, right? And they do want to see you win. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to keep it to yourself, because they're going to start asking you what's going on. Does that make sense? They're going to start asking you like, hey, so how's trading going? Made any money yet? And what I'm trying to tell you is that you're going to start forcing shit instead of letting things naturally happen. Does that make sense? Think about it. If your best friend is asking like, hey man, you know, what's going on with the trading? Or if you got a refund check coming or tax time coming around, hey, you know, you gonna trade that money that we're getting in a few weeks or a few months? So what I'm trying to tell you is that this is just my philosophy, in my opinion. You need to keep it to yourself, because if you don't, you're going to start forcing the trades. Okay. I know this from experience. You know, it maybe was 10 people I could have told what was going on, but I told 2 people, and these people actually love me, and they actually start asking me, so, hey, what's going on? So I started forcing the trades. I started looking for something easy, like indicators or somebody giving me signals. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're going to do the same thing that I did, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you're going to mess up the natural process of you learning this to get to the point where can't nobody fuck with you, right? To get to the point where you're untouchable and you're unstoppable. And to be honest with you, when you really get to this point, sometimes it's really not about the money that you're making. It's just about seeing the markets clearly and knowing that you can really perform if you had to, or knowing that you could perform if you just killed a little bit of the gambling habits inside of you or whatever. That's what it's really about. Okay. So it's not going to be a long rant, long call. I'm just trying to tell you to just think about what I'm saying. I gave you 2 scenarios. I gave you the scenario of people hating on you and you telling them what's going on. Obviously, we don't want to do that. But then you got the people who you know love you, who have helped you or trusted you in the past, right? I'm trying to tell you, don't tell these people either, because they're going to start asking you what's going on. How's the results going? You don't need that. You don't need people trying to get you to force what you can't even produce yet. I'm trying to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to start using indicators before you need to, right? You're going to start, instead of predicting a market on your own, you're going to start fucking buying signals and shit like that, because you have to show results. You have to show that you're making money now to these people, right? Because you've been doing all this study, you've been doing all this. Hey, how's it going? Everything going? Oh man, I've been staying up late at night studying. So they're going to start asking you about results. They're going to want to start seeing you making money. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you're going to start forcing it versus it naturally happening on its own. That's why I'm trying to tell you to keep it to yourself right now. If you told 2 or 3 people and you and you have like 10 people you're going to tell, just stop right there. Just stop where you at and don't tell anybody else. Okay? So just think about that, man. I mean, I think this is very important because you're going to start forcing the results. You're like, okay, well, they all asking me what's going on. So I gotta show some money right now. I got to show some kind of success versus, and you know, you're not there. You know, you're taking losses. You know, you're blowing accounts. But now your auntie who love you asking you what's going on, or, hey, you know, I may need you to help me pay for this since you learning this skill. I mean, and then the worst thing, what's going to happen is you're going to like learn a strategy or something like that. You're going to back test it and you're going to think you got it. And then you're going to put real money in the market and then lose it. And then it's going to mess up your psychology. You're going to have something ICT called scar tissue. Like a scar tissue on your heart is tissue that can't be regenerated, I believe. And so eventually the heart ends up stopping, you know, when you continue to build up scar tissue and you die, basically. So that's kind of what's going to happen, man. So just keep it to yourself right now. You build up a lot of personal power. I know the feeling of talking to the haters and talking to people who love me and just them not actually knowing what's going on. They'd be like, hey, what you got going on these days? Oh, well, you know, I'm just working. I mean, just talk regular. Don't even bring this up because you build up a personal power knowing that people don't know what you got going on and you studying and you learning something that's so powerful. That's just my opinion. So yeah, man, this is Diamond Life, man. Just doing a psychology series. Appreciate you guys listening in. Just remember that you're a champion because you choose to be. All right, be great.